Right here? Yeah, buddy. Let me tell you something. Strength ain't just about muscles. It's about the mindset that refuses to quit. Today, right here, we're talking about the 4 laws of an unstoppable mind, the rules that separate the ordinary from the unstoppable. You follow these, and there ain't no weight, no struggle, no doubt that can hold you back. Here, lightweight, baby. Let's get it. Relentless discipline is the quiet force that separates those who dream from those who achieve. It's not about sudden bursts of effort or random moments of inspiration. It's about the daily, sometimes unglamorous commitment to doing what needs to be done regardless of mood, circumstance, or convenience. When you wake up before the sun rises, when your body aches from yesterday's grind, right here, and when the world around you offers every excuse to stay comfortable, relentless discipline is the voice that cuts through the noise and says, go again. It's the habit of showing up, of keeping promises you made to yourself long after the feeling that inspired those promises faded. It begins with the smallest choices. The decision to set the alarm earlier, to stretch when you'd rather scroll, and right here, to finish a task completely instead of letting it linger for tomorrow. These are not grand, cinematic moments, but quiet victories that build the structure of a resilient mind. Right here, each repetition of a disciplined act strengthens the mental fibers that make you dependable to yourself. And when you become dependable to yourself, the world notices here, because that reliability radiates into everything you touch, work, relationships, training, and every personal mission you set out to conquer. Relentless discipline is a relationship with discomfort. Here, most people avoid discomfort like a burning flame, but someone who embraces discipline steps closer to it. They see discomfort as a signal of growth, as proof that they're moving beyond the limits of yesterday. Right here, every rep in the gym that burns your muscles is not just a physical challenge, it's a mental negotiation. Do you stop when it hurts or do you breathe through it, knowing that the real transformation lies just past the pain? Right, that negotiation happens in business, in art, in every field. Discipline chooses progress over pleasure again and again. It requires clarity of purpose. Without a strong why, discipline feels like punishment. But when you know why you're grinding, when you see the vision of the life you're building, discipline becomes a tool of freedom. It's the reminder that you are not at the mercy of whims or temporary emotions. Right here. You don't wait for motivation because motivation is fickle. You operate from commitment, which is steady. The athlete who trains through the off-season when no one is cheering. Here, the writer who hits their daily word count when no one is watching. The entrepreneur who sticks to the plan when profits dip, all are bound by an inner contract that does not expire when things get tough. Relentless discipline is also about mastering time. Every hour has the potential to build or to waste. People often say they don't have enough time, right here. But what they really lack is the discipline to direct that time with intention. It's choosing to focus on high-value tasks instead of easy distractions, saying no to things that don't align with your mission, right here. Structuring your environment to reduce temptation. This is not about being a machine. It's about respecting your own potential enough to guard it fiercely. Here, the hours you spend scrolling aimlessly or procrastinating on key actions are hours you can never retrieve. Discipline demands that you treat time as your most valuable currency, investing it where it yields growth. Here, it doesn't mean perfection. Relentless discipline is not about never missing a step. It's about refusing to stay off track. Everyone slips, everyone encounters setbacks, but a disciplined mind rebounds quickly. Instead of spiraling into self-criticism, it asks what's next and returns to the process. This resilience is what makes discipline sustainable for life. It's not about punishing yourself for being human, right here. It's about honoring the commitment to keep moving forward regardless of how many times you stumble. To cultivate relentless discipline, you train it like a muscle. Start small and consistent. Right here, create daily rituals that align with your goals, morning routines, scheduled practice, dedicated time for reflection or planning, each act of following through, no matter how minor, is a rep that strengthens your willpower. Right here, over time, these practices stack into an identity. You become someone who simply does what they said they would do. That identity is powerful because it means you no longer negotiate with excuses. The question is never if you will follow through, it is how and when. Relentless discipline is contagious. When you embody it, you inspire those around you. Colleagues notice your dependability. Here, teammates feed off your consistency. Loved ones see the integrity of someone who honors their word. You create an atmosphere where excellence is expected, not requested. This ripple effect elevates everyone in your circle. Hey, proving that discipline is not just a personal trait, but a social catalyst, it is also a shield against doubt. In moments of uncertainty, when the outcome feels far away or impossible, discipline provides proof of progress. Right here, you may not see immediate results, but the fact that you kept showing up becomes evidence that you are moving forward. That record of action silences the inner critic because you have facts to counter fear. You worked, you prepared, you persisted. Relentless discipline transforms ambition into reality. Dreams remain fantasies without the structure of consistent effort. No matter how gifted or passionate someone may be, talent without discipline fades. History is filled with examples of brilliant minds who failed to channel their abilities through sustained action. Conversely, countless individuals of average talent have reached extraordinary heights through the simple, relentless act of showing up, practicing, refining, and refusing to quit in every arena of life, fitness, business, art. Right here, personal growth. Relentless discipline is the ultimate equalizer. It does not care about background, luck, or circumstance. It rewards those who decide, day after day, to align their actions with their aspirations. Right here, it asks for sacrifice, for patience, for the courage to choose long-term fulfillment over short-term comfort. It's the repeated choice to embrace the process, even when the process feels endless. Right here, even when progress is invisible, even when the mind screams for an easier path, is the heartbeat of mastery, the silent driver behind every achievement that looks effortless from the outside. People see the highlight reel right here, the trophies, the finished product, but what they don't see is the relentless discipline that made those results inevitable. The early mornings, the late nights, the boring repetitions, the uncelebrated practice sessions. Hey, that hidden grind is where character is built, where greatness is forged, where the unstoppable mind is born. Unbreakable belief is the inner power that keeps a person moving forward when logic, odds, here, and even the opinions of others scream to turn back. It is more than ordinary confidence. It is a deep, unwavering trust in the vision you hold, the work you do, and the path you have chosen long before any results appear. This kind of belief is not fragile or dependent on applause. It stands solid when evidence is scarce and when progress feels invisible. It begins with an internal decision that your goal is real, your effort is meaningful, and your future is worth every sacrifice regardless of how distant the finish line seems. It starts in the mind where every great transformation begins. Before any physical change or outward success occurs, the mind has to be convinced that achievement is possible and inevitable. That conviction is not handed to you. It is built through repeated affirmation, visualization, and action. Here, when you wake up each day and feed your mind with the belief that you are capable, you are laying down mental tracks that guide your behavior. Thoughts become actions, actions become habits, and habits carve the road to success. Here, unbreakable belief is the foundation that supports that process because it refuses to collapse when challenges press against it. Life will test this belief. People will doubt you. Situations will disappoint you. Plans will fall apart. There will be days when the mirror reflects fatigue, when the bank account dips lower than expected, when the results lag behind the effort by miles. In these moments, right here, unbreakable belief is what steadies your heart and clears your mind. It tells you that setbacks are part of the journey, not signs to stop. Here, it whispers that the work you have already invested is not wasted, but is building strength you cannot yet measure. Without this belief, it becomes easy to quit, to pivot to something safer, to accept mediocrity dressed as realism. With it, you stay the course, adapt, and continue to plant seeds even when the soil looks barren. Unbreakable belief is forged through evidence you create for yourself. Each time you keep a promise to yourself, finishing a workout, completing a project, practicing a skill, you collect proof that you are capable. Those small victories become a private archive of resilience. Right here, when doubt creeps in, you can look back and see undeniable records of your perseverance. This self-generated evidence is more powerful than any external validation because it is rooted in your own actions. Here, you become the author of your confidence, and no critic or setback can erase what you have proven to yourself through effort. It also requires clarity. You cannot believe deeply in something vague or half-hearted. Right here, unbreakable belief thrives when you have a vision so vivid that you can describe in detail the sights, sounds, emotions, and outcomes of your success. Here, this vision serves as a mental destination that keeps you oriented when the path twists. It is not fantasy. It is a clear mental blueprint that informs every choice. When you can see the end result with crystal clarity, takes root because the mind begins to treat that vision as a future reality rather than a distant dream. Surroundings matter as well. While unbreakable belief is ultimately an inner force, the environment can either nourish or drain it. People who constantly inject negativity or doubt can erode confidence if allowed too close. Protecting your belief means guarding your mental space. Right here, it might mean limiting time with those who belittle your ambitions, curating what you consume online, or seeking mentors and peers who challenge you with constructive energy rather than cynicism. Right here, you are not required to cut yourself off from the world, but you must be intentional about what influences your mindset. Your belief is a fire. It needs fuel, not water. This belief is not blind. It does not ignore reality or pretend obstacles don't exist. Unbreakable belief acknowledges the full weight of challenges and still chooses to trust the process. It sees the mountain and says, I will climb it. Right here, not because it looks easy, but because you know you will grow strong enough to make it to the top here. This realistic optimism is powerful because it avoids the trap of wishful thinking while maintaining a fierce commitment to success. You plan, you prepare, you learn from mistakes here, but you never waver in the conviction that you will prevail. Action reinforces belief. Faith without effort is just hope, and hope alone is fragile. Every time you take a step toward your goal, even a small one, here you strengthen your belief that the goal is achievable. Momentum creates confidence. The act of moving forward, even in uncertainty, signals to your mind that success is possible. Over time, this creates a feedback loop. Belief fuels action, action fuels stronger belief, and the cycle continues until achievement is inevitable. Unbreakable belief is personal ownership of destiny. Here, it shifts the narrative from "I hope this works" to "I will make this work." It demands responsibility for both successes and failures. Instead of blaming circumstances, you accept that your commitment, learning, and right here, and adaptation determine the outcome. This level of ownership deepens belief because you recognize that you are not a passenger in your own story. You are the driver, and every choice you make steers the journey. It also demands resilience against external noise. Society loves to label people as unrealistic dreamers, to impose limitations based on statistics or tradition. Unbreakable belief listens but does not submit. Thing right here, it filters criticism, taking what is useful for growth and discarding what is rooted in fear or envy. It respects feedback without surrendering the core conviction that your path is valid. Right here, this discernment allows you to remain humble enough to learn while staying steadfast in pursuit of your vision. The development of unbreakable belief often involves inner dialogue. Here, the conversations you have with yourself can either build or destroy confidence. Negative self-talk is like slow poison, eroding determination one doubt at a time. Cultivating a strong inner voice that speaks with encouragement. Here, discipline and courage is essential, whether through affirmations, journaling, or mindful reflection. Feeding the mind with empowering language creates mental armor against the inevitable storms of doubt. Right here, unbreakable belief thrives on persistence. It does not measure success by immediate results, but by sustained effort over time. Great achievements often require months or years of unseen labor before they yield visible rewards. Those without strong belief give up during the silent seasons when progress is not obvious. Those with unbreakable belief endure because they trust that consistent action will eventually bring their vision to life. It is the spark behind innovation, the reason pioneers challenge the status quo, and the force that allows ordinary individuals to do extraordinary things. Every breakthrough in science, sports, right here, or business was once dismissed as impossible until someone's belief refused to bow. This belief gives you the courage to take calculated risks, to experiment, to fail, and try again, because you know that failure is only feedback on the way to mastery. Unbreakable belief is a daily practice. It requires nurturing through rituals that remind you of your purpose, morning routines that set intentions, visualizations that reconnect you to your vision, physical habits that align with your goals. Each practice strengthens the mental muscle of belief. Just as the body grows through resistance, belief grows when challenged. The more you push through doubt and obstacles, the more unshakable it becomes. Ultimately, unbreakable belief becomes a way of being. It moves from something you do to something you are. It shapes how you see opportunities here, how you respond to setbacks, how you interact with others. It becomes the lens through which you interpret the world, a steady flame that lights every decision and every action. Right here, refusing to be extinguished no matter how fierce the wind. Controlled aggression is the deliberate harnessing of raw intensity, the channeling of primal energy into focused purpose. It is the ability to take the fire that burns inside, the drive, the competitive urge, the hunger to win, and direct it with precision toward a defined goal. This is not reckless anger or chaotic rage. Here, it is the art of transforming powerful emotions into fuel for calculated action, a force that can lift you beyond your limits without ever letting the heat consume your judgment. When a person embodies controlled aggression, here they know how to ignite the inner furnace and keep it burning at just the right temperature to power performance without letting it explode in distraction. At its core, controlled aggression begins with self-awareness. Everyone experiences moments of intense emotion, frustration from a setback, excitement before a big opportunity, adrenaline in the face of a challenge. Most people either suppress these feelings or let them run wild. Suppression drains energy. Recklessness leads to mistakes. Controlled aggression requires a third path, recognizing the surge, accepting it, and choosing how to use it. It is the conscious decision to hold the reins tightly while allowing the horse to run at full speed. The first step is to know your triggers, to understand what stirs your competitive spirit here, and to recognize the physical signs when adrenaline starts to flood your system. The heartbeat quickens, the breath deepens, the muscles tense. Instead of fearing those sensations, here, you learn to welcome them as signals that it's time to focus. This mastery doesn't come overnight. It is trained through consistent practice in high-pressure situations. Right here, athletes call it being in the zone, where heightened intensity meets total control. A fighter steps into the ring and feels the roar of the crowd, the pounding of his heart, the rush of adrenaline. Without control, that energy could lead to wild swings, wasted movements, or mental lapses. Control, every punch is precise, every step calculated. The same principle applies far beyond sports. A speaker stepping onto a stage, an entrepreneur making a high-stakes pitch, a surgeon facing a complex procedure, all must command their inner intensity to perform at their peak. Controlled aggression thrives on preparation. You cannot expect to channel power effectively if you haven't built the skills to handle it. A weightlifter trains technique long before attempting a personal record. A musician rehearses tirelessly before a live performance. Right here, the better prepared you are, the more freely you can unleash intensity because you trust your ability to guide it. Preparation creates a framework within which aggression becomes a tool, not a threat. It allows you to attack challenges with confidence, knowing that every ounce of effort is supported by competence and discipline. Focus is the companion of controlled aggression. Raw emotion wants to scatter your attention. Right here, control demands that you narrow it. This means creating mental clarity even when the body is charged with adrenaline. Breathing techniques, visualization, and mental rehearsal are key strategies. A deep breath slows the racing mind and brings you into the present moment. Visualization lets you see the action before it happens, aligning your body and mind with the desired outcome. Right here, these tools turn a flood of energy into a laser beam of concentration. You are not merely reacting, you are executing with purpose. There is a profound difference between aggression that destroys and aggression that builds, where uncontrolled aggression lashes out without direction, burning bridges and creating chaos. Controlled aggression is constructive. It channels frustration into effort, fear into courage, and excitement into performance. Can do something right here. It is what allows someone to push through the last brutal reps of a workout, to stay in a difficult negotiation until a breakthrough, to keep coding through the night until a project is complete. Here, the aggression becomes a steady engine rather than a reckless storm. Emotional intelligence is at the heart of this concept. Understanding and regulating your own emotions allows you to read situations and people with greater accuracy. In a heated discussion, right here, controlling means asserting your position firmly without escalating conflict unnecessarily. It means standing your ground, speaking with strength, but never losing respect for others or letting ego dictate the outcome. It transforms what could be a destructive confrontation into a productive exchange. The discipline required for controlled aggression extends into lifestyle habits. Physical training, mindfulness practices, right here, and proper recovery all contribute to the ability to summon and contain intense energy. A body that is conditioned handles adrenaline more efficiently. Right here, a mind trained in meditation or focused breathing can enter and exit high arousal states without being overwhelmed. Sleep and nutrition ensure that when it's time to engage the inner beast, here you have the reserves to do so without burning out. This holistic approach ensures that aggression serves you instead of draining you. Controlled aggression is also about timing. Like a powerful engine, here it must be engaged at the right moment. Too early and you exhaust yourself before the challenge peaks. Too late and the opportunity passes. This sense of timing comes from experience and self-reflection. Here, by reviewing performances, whether in sports, business, or personal projects, you learn when to ramp up intensity and when to hold back. Over time, you develop an intuitive sense of when to strike, when to push here, and when to stay patient, which separates those who simply have energy from those who win. It demands courage because it invites you to lean into discomfort. Many avoid aggression altogether, right here, fearing it will lead to loss of control or rejection. But controlled aggression asks you to embrace your primal drive while maintaining composure. It is the courage to enter the arena, to face conflict, to risk failure while refusing to be timid. Timidity breeds regret, reckless fury breeds chaos. Controlled aggression walks the sharp edge between these extremes, turning potential chaos into decisive action. In competitive environments, this trait becomes a decisive advantage. A salesperson negotiating a critical deal uses controlled aggression to stay persistent without alienating the client. Here, a leader guiding a team through crisis uses it to project confidence and urgency without slipping into panic. A student facing a daunting exam uses it to stay alert and focused. Here, converting nervous energy into sharp concentration. The situations vary, but the principle remains: channel the fire, don't let it burn out of control. Training controlled aggression involves deliberate stress exposure. You put yourself in challenging situations to practice staying composed under pressure. Public speaking, intense workouts, time problem-solving exercises. These become arenas to test and refine your ability to stay sharp when adrenaline surges. Each exposure teaches the body and mind that intensity is not the enemy, but a resource. Over time, right here, you build a mental toolkit to manage that energy, from breathing patterns to self-talk to visualization. The language you use with yourself matters. Here, internal dialogue can either fan the flames recklessly or guide them strategically. Phrases that focus on execution, precision, and readiness help maintain control. Instead of saying, "Here, I'm going to destroy this," you might tell yourself, "I'm going to execute perfectly." The words shape the mindset, keeping aggression constructive rather than destructive. Right here, controlled aggression is a bridge between emotion and intellect. It honors the power of instinct while respecting the need for strategy. It is the warrior's calm in the heat of battle. Right here, the sprinter's explosive start guided by flawless technique. The entrepreneur's relentless drive balanced by thoughtful planning. Right here, this integration of heart and mind creates a force that can break barriers without breaking you. It also teaches humility because it requires control. It acknowledges that unchecked power can be dangerous. Right here, this humility fosters respect for the process, for opponents, and for the stakes involved. It prevents arrogance from creeping in and turning intensity into recklessness. Here, the most powerful competitors often display a quiet confidence because they understand both their strength and the responsibility of wielding it wisely. Relationships benefit from this quality as well. In personal interactions, here, controlled aggression helps you advocate for yourself, express needs, and set boundaries without resorting to hostility. It allows passion and assertiveness to coexist with empathy and respect, whether negotiating a raise, addressing a conflict with a friend, or protecting your time and energy. Controlled aggression empowers you to stand firm while maintaining connection. In creative endeavors, controlled aggression can be the spark that drives long hours of focused effort. Artists, writers, and innovators often describe moments of fierce concentration where ideas pour out with unstoppable force. Right here, harnessing that surge requires the same balance, enough intensity to break through resistance, enough control to shape the work into excellence. Right here, the result is art or innovation that carries the imprint of both passion and precision. Economists, scientists, and strategists might not use the term aggression right here, but they rely on the same principle when tackling complex problems. They dive into challenges with relentless curiosity and tenacity, refusing to back down when data is messy or solutions seem elusive. They push forward with controlled determination, driven by the desire to uncover truth or create progress. Even in solitude, controlled aggression plays a role. Right here, the battle against personal limitations, whether breaking a bad habit, building a new skill, or pushing past mental barriers, requires inner fire. It demands that you confront the resistance within yourself. Here, that quiet voice that urges comfort and ease. By channeling intensity inward, you break through plateaus and expand what you believe is possible. Throughout history, breakthroughs often came from individuals who embodied this trait, leaders who inspired nations, athletes who shattered records, pioneers who explored uncharted territory, all tapped into a deep reservoir of aggressive energy. Right here, but they paired it with discipline and foresight. Their achievements were not accidents of motion. They were the result of channeling passion and deliberate, sustained action. Here, controlled aggression reminds you that the energy of ambition, the drive to compete, and the urge to conquer are not enemies to be tamed, but allies to be trained. It challenges you to embrace the full force of your will while maintaining clarity of purpose, to step into moments of pressure not as a victim of adrenaline, but as its master. It is the steady hand guiding the sword. Here, the calm eye in the storm, the relentless heartbeat that powers every deliberate move. Endurance over excuses is the mindset that refuses to let rationalizations, setbacks, or temporary discomfort become a barrier to progress. Right here, it is the unshakable commitment to keep moving forward even when the path feels endless and every part of your body and mind screams for relief. This principle recognizes that excuses are always available, always convenient, right here, and always persuasive, but they never bring growth. Endurance, on the other hand, is the steady force that outlasts resistance, the quiet strength that keeps a person on the journey long enough to reach the reward. Right here, it is not just physical stamina, it is mental and emotional persistence, the decision to stay in the game when the novelty has worn off and the results are not yet visible. Excuses are seductive because they sound reasonable. Right here, they present themselves as logic. I'm too tired today. I don't have enough time. Conditions aren't perfect. It's not the right moment. Each excuse offers a small relief, a temporary escape from the demands of discipline. Here, but every time an excuse wins, it takes a piece of momentum, and momentum is the lifeblood of progress. Excuses means recognizing these thoughts for what they are, comfort dressed up as reason, and refusing to let them dictate action. It's the ability to hear the internal dialogue that says stop and answer with go anyway. This commitment starts with a choice. Before any challenge begins, before fatigue sets in, a person decides that quitting is not an option. This decision serves as a contract with oneself. When the mind tries to negotiate later, when the body pleads for rest, right here, the contract stands as a reminder of what was already settled. By making the choice in advance, you remove the daily debate about whether to show up. The answer is always yes. Right here, That mental clarity frees up energy to focus on execution instead of wrestling with hesitation. Endurance is built through repeated exposure to discomfort. Every time you push beyond the point where you once stopped, you stretch your capacity. A runner adds an extra mile, a student studies an extra hour, an entrepreneur makes an extra call. These small extensions accumulate into extraordinary resilience. The body adapts, the mind toughens, and right here, and what once felt impossible becomes routine. Endurance over excuses is a practice of gradual expansion, where each session, each effort, each deliberate step conditions you to go further next time. Right here, mental endurance is often more challenging than physical endurance. Muscles can be trained, but the mind must be convinced. It's the mind that invents excuses, that exaggerates pain, that predicts failure. Developing mental endurance means cultivating a dialogue of perseverance. Instead of focusing on how much longer the struggle will last, you break the challenge into manageable pieces. One more rep, one more minute, right here, one more page. By narrowing attention to the next small step, you quiet the overwhelming thought of the entire distance ahead. This strategy turns an impossible marathon into a series of achievable sprints, each victory reinforcing the belief that you can continue. Environment plays a critical role in sustaining endurance. Surrounding yourself with people who value perseverance creates accountability and inspiration. Right here, training partners, mentors, and peers who embody the same determination make quitting less tempting. They remind you of the standard you set for yourself. Conversely, here, an environment filled with negativity or complacency can make excuses seem acceptable. Protecting your space, physical, digital, and social, helps preserve the mindset of endurance. You absorb the attitudes of those around you, so choose companions who reinforce your commitment to stay the course. Endurance over excuses also requires a powerful why. Without a meaningful reason, right here, the mind will gladly settle for comfort. Goals must be tied to a deeper purpose that resonates with your identity, whether it's providing for family, achieving a personal dream, or proving to yourself what you are capable of. Here, that purpose fuels persistence. When fatigue sets in and motivation fades, remembering why you started reignites determination. The bigger the purpose, the smaller the excuses appear. Discipline and endurance are inseparable. Discipline provides the structure, endurance sustains it. You build habits that support your goal. Scheduled practice, consistent routines, daily rituals, and endurance is what keeps those habits alive when novelty wears off. Right here, over time, these habits become part of your identity. You are no longer someone who occasionally endures, you are someone who always follows through. This identity shift is powerful because it turns action into instinct. Right here, skipping the hard work no longer feels like a relief. It feels like a betrayal of who you are. Physical preparation strengthens mental resilience. A well-trained body can withstand more stress. Right here, allowing the mind to focus on persistence rather than survival. Nutrition, sleep, and recovery are not luxuries but essential components of endurance. They provide the energy to keep pushing when conditions are harsh. Here, taking care of the body is not a sign of weakness, it is a strategy for longevity. The stronger and healthier you are, the longer you can hold the line when obstacles arise. Endurance over excuses transforms setbacks into lessons. Failure is inevitable on any ambitious path, but the enduring mindset views it not as an endpoint but as information. Instead of using mistakes as justification to quit, you analyze them to improve. Each obstacle becomes a teacher, each detour a chance to refine strategy. This perspective removes the sting of failure because it sees every experience as forward movement. Refusing to let setbacks become excuses, you stay on a trajectory of growth no matter how uneven the path. Time becomes an ally to those who endure. Here, many people overestimate what they can accomplish in a short burst and underestimate what steady effort achieves over years. Endurance recognizes that greatness is built in layers, that daily actions compound into monumental results. When you commit to outlasting challenges, you give yourself the priceless advantage of consistency. Right here, opportunities that would never appear for the impatient reveal themselves to those who keep showing up. There's a quiet power in those who endure. They don't need to announce their struggles or seek validation. Here, their persistence speaks louder than any words. They inspire others simply by continuing, by embodying the truth that persistence is stronger than talent, that commitment outshines inspiration. Endure through hardship stirs respect because it reflects inner strength that no shortcut can replicate. Endurance over excuses demands humility. It accepts that progress often feels slow. Right here, that mastery requires countless repetitions, that there will be days when nothing seems to work. Instead of chasing quick wins, the enduring person embraces the grind. They understand that greatness is not a sudden leap, but a long climb. This humility prevents discouragement when immediate rewards don't appear in shields against arrogance. When success finally arrives, the dialogue with oneself is critical. Excuses often masquerade as self-care or practicality. They whisper, you deserve a break, you've done enough, you can try tomorrow. Endurance answers with, right here, I can rest after the work is done. I have more to give, today matters. This inner conversation shapes reality. By consistently choosing endurance, you train your mind to value long-term achievement over short-term comfort. Here, rituals help solidify this mindset. Morning routines that set intention, evening reflections that review progress, scheduled breaks to recharge, all serve to reinforce the habit of perseverance. These rituals are not rigid rules, but anchors to keep you aligned with your purpose. They remind you daily that endurance is a practice, not a single decision. The relationship with discomfort changes through endurance. Pain, fatigue, and uncertainty become familiar companions rather than enemies. You stop viewing them as signs to stop and start seeing them as proof of growth. This reframing is powerful. When discomfort loses its power to scare you, right here, excuses lose their best weapon. You begin to welcome challenge as confirmation that you are stretching beyond your old limits. Endurance also cultivates patience. It teaches that the journey itself is valuable. That transformation happens not just at the finish line, but in every step taken along the way. This patience removes the desperation for immediate results and replaces it with a steady trust in the process. With patience, each day of effort becomes rewarding, each small improvement a victory. Leadership is built on this principle. People follow those who remain steady under pressure, who keep working when others falter. Right here, a leader who embodies endurance over excuses sets a standard for the entire team, showing through action that persistence is non-negotiable. Right here, this influence creates a culture of resilience where challenges are met with collective determination rather than fear. Endurance is not about ignoring limits, it's about expanding them. Here, it respects the body's need for recovery and the mind's need for balance, but it never confuses rest with quitting. Strategic pauses become part of the plan, moments to refuel and return stronger. Hey, this intelligent approach prevents burnout while maintaining momentum throughout history. Every major achievement has been marked by those who refuse to quit. Inventors who faced repeated failure, explorers who crossed uncharted lands, activists who fought for justice year after year. They all chose endurance over excuses. Here, their legacies remind us that breakthroughs rarely come to those who act only when conditions are perfect. They come to those who keep moving through imperfection, who continue when applause fades and obstacles multiply. Right here, on a personal level, this principle changes how you view your own potential. It proves that greatness is not reserved for the most talented or the most fortunate, but for those who persist. When you choose endurance over excuses day after day, you build an identity rooted in strength and reliability. Others come to trust your word because you consistently follow through. Most importantly, hey, you learn to trust yourself, knowing that when challenges arise, you will not surrender to convenience. Endurance over excuses is the essence of self-mastery. It is the practice of staying the course, of valuing action over justification, of believing that every step forward, no matter how small, is more powerful than the most convincing reason to stop. It is the quiet, relentless force that turns intention into reality. Right here, the unwavering commitment to keep going until the vision that once lived only in the mind becomes a tangible, undeniable truth. Vision-driven action is the ability to translate a vivid mental picture of the future into deliberate, consistent steps in the present. Right here, it begins with a clear and compelling vision, something so detailed that you can see it when you close your eyes, hear the sounds of success, and feel the emotions of having achieved it. Here, this vision is not a vague hope or a wishful fantasy. It is a concrete destination that acts like a compass, guiding every choice you make. When a person operates from vision-driven action, each decision, each effort, and each sacrifice is aligned with that ultimate picture. The vision provides direction and action provides movement, creating a cycle that transforms ideas into reality. The first requirement is clarity. Right here, a powerful vision is specific enough to inform strategy, yet expansive enough to inspire. It answers the questions of what you want, why you want it, and what it will mean for you and others when it is achieved. People often say they want success or happiness, but those words are too broad to drive meaningful action. Vision demands details, the type of work you will do, the lifestyle you will lead, the impact you will create. Right here, the legacy you will leave. The clearer the picture, the easier it becomes to evaluate opportunities and to say no to distractions. Without that clarity, action can scatter in multiple directions. Energy on pursuits that feel busy but lead nowhere. Once clarity is established, the next step is belief. Vision-driven action cannot survive skepticism. Right here, you must trust that the picture in your mind is possible, even when current circumstances seem far removed from it. This belief does not ignore obstacles. Here, it acknowledges them while maintaining certainty that persistence and intelligent effort will bring the vision closer. Belief acts as fuel when progress is slow. Here, it steadies you when others question your path and when temporary setbacks threaten to derail momentum. Without belief, even the most vivid vision remains a daydream. With belief, right here, the vision becomes a commitment that no doubt can shake. Action is where vision proves its worth. A dream without movement is only imagination. Vision-driven action breaks the grand goal into practical steps and schedules them into daily life. It demands planning, prioritization, and relentless execution. Each task, no matter how small, right here, is tied back to the larger mission. Waking early to train, studying late to learn a skill, networking to build connections. These are not random efforts, but deliberate moves on a defined path. Because the end goal is clear, right here. You can measure whether each action serves or distracts from the mission. This alignment turns ordinary tasks into meaningful progress, prevents the drift that occurs when people chase every new opportunity without a guiding purpose. Discipline sustains this process. Motivation may spark the first steps, but discipline keeps the engine running when excitement fades. Vision-driven action recognizes that some days will feel uninspiring, some tasks will be tedious, right here, and some efforts will yield no immediate reward. In those moments, discipline bridges the gap between intention and completion. It transforms the abstract vision into tangible habits, consistent training, steady learning. Right here, deliberate networking, careful planning. Over time, these habits create momentum so strong that the vision begins to pull you forward as if it has gravity of its own. Feedback loops strengthen the connection between vision and action. Regular reflection allows you to assess whether your efforts are bringing you closer to your goal or merely keeping you busy. Journaling progress, reviewing metrics, or seeking mentorship can provide critical insight. When something isn't working, you adjust while keeping the end picture intact. Here, this flexibility is essential because no plan survives perfectly intact once it meets reality. Vision-driven action is not rigid adherence to a single strategy. It is unwavering commitment to the destination combined with a willingness to adapt the route. Environment plays a decisive role. The people, spaces, right here, and information you allow into your life can either amplify or dilute your vision. Surrounding yourself with those who share high standards and forward momentum reinforces the behaviors required for long-term success. Conversely, constant exposure to negativity, aimlessness, or short-term thinking can weaken focus. Creating an environment that supports the vision may mean reorganizing your workspace, curating what you read and watch, and right here, limiting contact with those who discourage ambition. This is not about isolation, but about protecting the mental atmosphere where vision and action thrive. Energy management is another key component. Here, pursuing a powerful vision demands sustained vitality. Proper rest, nutrition, and physical activity are not side concerns, but strategic necessities. A tired or unhealthy body cannot support relentless action. Likewise, mental and emotional well-being must be maintained. Practices like meditation, deep breathing, or time in nature can recharge the mind, ensuring that focus remains sharp and creativity stays alive. When energy is managed well, becomes consistent, and the vision retains its magnetism even during demanding seasons. Vision-driven action also calls for courage. A strong vision often points toward uncharted territory where the path is uncertain and the outcome is not guaranteed. Taking the first step can be intimidating because it usually requires leaving comfort zones, risking failure, and confronting criticism. Courage does not mean the absence of fear. It means moving despite fear, trusting that each step will reveal the next. Every act of courage strengthens resolve and proves to yourself that you are capable of more than you once believed. Patience is equally vital. Big visions rarely materialize quickly. There will be stretches where progress is invisible, where results lag far behind effort. Impatience tempts people to quit or to chase easier rewards. Vision-driven action counters this with a long-term perspective. Right here, understanding that meaningful growth is cumulative, like a seed growing beneath the soil. The most important developments often happen out of sight. Right here, trusting the process and maintaining steady action during these silent periods separates those who eventually realize their vision from those who abandon it halfway. The practice of visualization reinforces every stage of the journey. By regularly imagining the details of success, the sights, sounds, right here, and emotions, you train your subconscious mind to recognize opportunities and to stay aligned with your goals. Visualization creates a mental rehearsal that makes action feel familiar. Right here, reducing hesitation when real opportunities appear. It primes your brain to notice resources, relationships, and ideas that might otherwise be overlooked. Here, effectively bringing the vision closer to reality through heightened awareness. Accountability keeps the commitment alive. Sharing your goals with a mentor, coach, here, or trusted peer adds external pressure to match words with deeds. Regular check-ins, progress reports, or public declarations of intent can all serve as powerful motivators. When others know what you aim to achieve, you feel a heightened responsibility to act, and this external layer of accountability supports the internal drive that springs from your vision. Adversity is inevitable on a path defined by ambition. Financial setbacks, unexpected failures, and personal challenges will test your resolve. Vision-driven action treats adversity not as a stop sign, but as a training ground. Each challenge becomes an opportunity to refine strategy, right here to strengthen character and to reaffirm commitment. Instead of being derailed by hardship, you integrate the lessons and continue moving forward, often discovering that the detours lead to growth that would not have occurred on an easy road. This approach transforms how you relate to time. Rather than measuring life in days filled with random activity, you measure it in progress toward the vision. Each morning begins with intentional planning. Each evening ends with reflection on what moved you closer to the goal. Right here, time stops being that slips away unnoticed and becomes a resource invested deliberately. This shift creates urgency without panic, a steady sense that every hour has purpose. Here, vision-driven action also elevates relationships. When you are clear about where you are headed, you attract people who resonate with your mission. Hey, collaborations become more meaningful because they are built on shared purpose rather than convenience. You communicate with greater conviction, inspire others through your example. Here, and build networks that multiply the impact of your efforts. Your vision becomes a beacon that draws allies, mentors, and partners who help accelerate progress while you offer your own strengths to their journeys. The connection between vision and identity deepens over time. At first, you may feel like someone striving to reach a goal. Eventually, you become someone for whom the pursuit of that goal is natural and inevitable. The habits, right here, mindset and character traits required to achieve the vision integrate into who you are. Action is no longer something you force. It becomes the natural expression of your identity. This transformation is the ultimate power of vision-driven action. It does not just create outcomes, it reshapes the person pursuing them. Innovation often emerges from this process. Because you are anchored to a clear vision, right here, you are more willing to experiment, to explore unconventional solutions, and to take calculated risks. Right here, you are not bound by tradition or limited by current resources, because the vision provides a reference point beyond the present. This forward focus sparks creativity and makes you resilient when faced with obstacles that require new approaches. Gratitude can coexist with ambition in this framework. Here, appreciating the progress already made and the lessons learned keeps you balanced and prevents burnout. It reminds you that the journey itself holds value, not just the destination, right? Gratitude feeds motivation by shifting attention from what is missing to what is already working, reinforcing the belief that the vision is unfolding in its own time. Ultimately, here, vision-driven action is a dynamic dance between seeing and doing. The vision provides the map, action moves the feet. One without the other is incomplete. Together, they create momentum that carries you through obstacles, right here, across seasons of doubt and toward achievements that once seemed unreachable. By aligning daily choices with a deeply held image of the future, you build a bridge from imagination to reality, right here, proving through persistent effort that a clear vision, when paired with unwavering action, can reshape the course of a life.